Hey y'all, it's Lindsay, and I just finished watching Vlogumentary, so I thought I would give like my quick opinion. I look a mess. I have kitchen hair. We don't need to talk about it, but I just finished watching Vlogumentary. It's on the Shea Tarts channel with YouTube Red if you want to see it. You can get a YouTube Red like subscription, but like you get a month free trial, so if you don't want to pay for it, you can always watch the movie, watch other stuff on it, and then just cancel it before your, like a day or two before your month is up, and you shouldn't be charged. I was going into this movie, have been watching CTFxC like for years, since like, you know, 2011, so I had seen kind of the process of like them going to their house to film from the early stages. Like, I've been excited about this movie and watched the Shea Tarts and all of that. Like, I've been very excited. And then I saw that they added Mikey Murphy. He was like, he's someone that I have been watching like 2 years-ish. He is a really good, he's friends with, you know, Alex and stuff. And I know Alex because I started watching Charles back in 2011. I started watching YouTube. I started watching like Joey Graceffa and his whole friend group at the time, like Kat and Megan and Whitney and all of Brittany and like all of his friends. And then from there I started watching other people and all the British YouTubers and like Zoella and then like Tyler and all of Hannah Hart and Grace and all of those YouTubers. And then like because of that, and I started watching more beauty gurus and younger YouTubers like Meg DeAngelis, and then like because I watched Shane Dawson, I found Jessica, and then from Jessica I found Alex, and from Alex I found Luke and Mikey and all of them, and now I watch most of YouTube. I feel like there's so many different like vloggers and people on the internet, but like on the internet making content and whatever, but I feel like for me personally, I love that they didn't just focus on like the which I love Charles, I love Shay, you know, I love the OG vloggers and iJustine and all that, but I like that they didn't just make a film featuring old creators and not just the ones with millions of subscribers. They featured the Mikey, which again, Mikey is popular, like really popular now, but I'm saying like, he hasn't always had like a million, you know what I mean? They kind of featured some of the younger creators. And I think a large part of YouTube nowadays is the younger creators. People are making channels now at like 11, 12 years old, you know, like these 12-year-olds with like DIY channels and like beauty guru stuff, and I think it's really cool how the YouTube community is like expanding and growing. But anyway, Vlogumentary. I loved it very, very much. iTunes or like DVD or something, so I can buy it and watch it whenever I want, because it was just, or put it on Netflix or something like that, because it was just so great. I loved, like I said, I loved that they didn't just focus on like this one content creator's story. They're kind of different stories, and I like how at the beginning of Vlogumentary, Charles was married to Ali Speed. They divorced, and now he is engaged to be married to Ali West, and I like that they didn't just ignore that fact and just focus on his brand, that they talked about it, and they talked about how YouTube isn't always the great stuff in life. Sometimes you film the bad, or you have bad things that happen, you film and you talk about it. And I love that they, as Charles specifically, they focused on that, and like they didn't not focus on them. Like, I like that they brought attention to it without making the whole thing like sad and whatever. And I love that they showed that girl, I don't remember her name, I'm sorry, but who's like a CTFxC subscriber but also makes her own videos, like, hey, what up, same, and like how she went to a We the King show and met Charles and was like almost crying. Like, when I met Charles in 2013 in the summer at the We the King show, it was such a surreal experience. Like, I had been watching his videos for 2 years. I had seen him in concert before in 2011. That's how I started watching his vlogs. They opened for Demi Lovato, and I knew who they were. Like, I knew We the Kings as a band, and I knew their music. And like, so when Charles joined the band, coughing, excuse me, like looking up their music before the concert, and I was like, wait, what happened to Drew? Like, who's this new bass person? And Coley, I was like, who are they? I didn't really think much of it. And that night, after the concert, I remember like going, I think I followed like like a few of them, but I didn't follow like, I remember following all of them and like looking at tweets, and I'm like, a vlog? What do you mean? And I realized he posted a concert vlog from the Demi Lovato concert. And I was like, now, that was November 2011, so I've been watching Charles now for like 5 years, and that's like crazy to me. Like, I think, I say like summer of 2011 because I think I was watching YouTube then without realizing that people did that for a thing. I would watch cover artists. I would look up Jonas Brother cover videos in like 2009, 2010, not realizing that people did that for a living. And like, it's weird to me to think that I was on YouTube like as an active user and didn't find Charles till later, or didn't find Joey or these other YouTubers that now I love. And you know, like, I was on YouTube before like Alex or Jessica or any of them even thought about having channels. I was watching people, and you know, I think it's really cool to me how you can find someone late in their career. Like Shay Carl, I started watching maybe like 2012, I want to say. It was around, I remember watching the video where she announced she was pregnant with Daxton, as like one of the, I had seen them before obviously because of Charles, but I never really took interest. I watched the baby reveal video and then I didn't stop, and I've been watching their I don't watch like super daily, but I watch a lot. Like I'll check up on them, and I love this Connie Jolie's and stuff. I like family vloggers, and I think it's really, I like seeing their lives and experiencing the vlogs, so I really do love daily vloggers. Some of the popular ones like I don't really watch, but I do try and watch a lot of different people. I don't just find one YouTuber and stick to it. I kind of like to fluctuate between, I like to give people a chance. I don't, oh, you only have, you know, 3,000 subscribers, I'm not going to watch your videos. Because if I had that mentality, there would be so many people that are in my life right now that I wouldn't support. Like, I might make a separate video on this, like how I found certain, separate video on this, down the road about this particular person and situation, but, we'll see how I feel. But when I started watching Alex's videos, I found him right before he hit 3,000 subscribers. Like, I subscribed to him, and then like the next week after it was like, thanks for 3K subscribers, and it was, for me, it was like, whoa, like I helped him reach that. Like, it was really weird and really surreal, but like I loved it, being able to say like I helped him reach 3,000, and it was like, so he's a YouTuber where I feel like I've kind of been around since like the beginning of his channel, so watching him hit like 70,000 and like, you know, go to YouTube events and get recognized by all these people, and like it's really cool. Like, I was watching Charles in 2011, but he had already been doing it for a few years. He, you know, I mean, watching Charles hit 1 million when he had brain cancer, they talked about this in Vlogumentary. I remember that day, like seeing that, and I cried, and thinking about Charles and all that he's been through. Like, I could sob. Like, I saw him this summer at Warped Tour. I didn't meet him, but I have a Warped Tour vlog, by the way, if you want to see it. It's linked on my channel. You can go find it. I'll also link it down below for you guys. I met Travis again. I didn't meet Charles again because we couldn't have a meetup, but I was like second row in the pit for most of the concert, right in front of Charles. So like looking up and seeing him, knowing what he's been through, like awake brain surgery and brain cancer and all of this stuff, seeing him like running around stage and performing was so like emotional for me. And there was a few times where I just looked at him and I was like, I had my CTFxC shirt on, and I was like, I felt so proud to be in his presence, and all of the band, you know, but especially because of what Charles has been through. Like, seeing him again after, I met him in 2013, that was the tour when he had like the brain, I met him at the beginning of that tour, like the second or third, it was like the third or fourth date of that tour was New Orleans, because they started in Florida and made their way here. So I saw them at the beginning of the tour. Later on in the tour, I think in Idaho, Boise, Idaho, I believe, was when he had the tumor, like he had the seizure and the tumor, and they found when he needed surgery and stuff. So I met him like before all of that. So meeting him like prior to, right? Yeah, meeting him like prior to that stuff, and like, well, no, they were there for like a college show, I think. I'm not sure. But like meeting him, I think I met him after I met him after like the first brain surgery. I think that's what it was. After, but like then after having met him, watching him go through the second surgery and all of that, and not knowing if he would be okay, and having him say like, "Hey, I have brain cancer," that's scary. Like my last year, like middle of February-ish, my cousin-in-law's brother passed away from cancer that had like spread to his brain and all over his body, and that was really hard. And I just remember the whole time with Charles, like not knowing if he would be okay or if he would make it. I've had a lot of people in my family deal with cancer, a grandparent, and like an uncle and stuff, and they've passed away. And so whenever I hear like cancer, it freaks me out, and it makes me just like, it makes me emotional, like thinking about it and thinking about it. I remember when I heard that, I was so scared for Charles because I had been through it with other family, not necessarily brain cancer, but just cancer in general. So after dealing with what Charles went through when my cousin-in-law's brother like got his diagnosis, I remember we were all just like shocked and scared, and he was like okay, in remission, and then it came back, and it came back with a vengeance, and it went to his brain. And I just remember thinking like when he passed away, like how sad we all were, but thinking like this could be Charles so easily. And so that's why like seeing him again, I love We the Kings, they're my favorite band, like all of them, seeing all of them again, but like seeing Charles again, that's why whenever your favorite band is in your city, try and go, even unless you can't afford or you have to work or have like a mandatory exam or something the next day, or like a test, you know, like don't skip out on school and work and stuff. But if you can, or if you can't afford tickets, go to the show, hang out outside after the show. You might still get to meet them. Or if you can't go, I'm not gonna say like beg, but if it's like, obviously like if it's 5 stars, it might not work, but like a band like We the Kings or something, a smaller band, if you really can't go, honestly I would tweet them or DM them or something. And sometimes the band members, you know, can do something or help you out. I'm not saying like to ask for favors, but if you really can't afford it and really want to go, I would reach out to them, because sometimes they're really nice people. I know like a band like We the Kings would probably do something like that if you like begged and pleaded to Travis. He's such a nice person. He would probably try and work something out for you. Really, whenever your favorite band is in your city, try and see them, because for me it was just like a really emotional experience to see him on stage in front of me, knowing what he had been through and knowing what like my family had been through, like thinking how easily that could be Charles, seeing him so healthy and active and being himself, and seeing in the vlogs his progress and getting better, for me was such like a beacon of hope. Like girl in Vlogumentary, her mom was saying how whenever she has a situation like, you know, she's down, it's like they say, what would Charles do? And there were several times. My senior quote was actually a quote from Charles in his I think it was his divorce video, I believe, when he talked about their divorce, I believe it was. And I think he paraphrased a quote from John Lennon, but he said it in the video. And so my senior quote was, "It'll all be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end." Dash Charles Strippy. They don't put our senior quotes in the yearbook, but like they print out a sheet that's like in 10 years, blah 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 will be, and they do it like that, and then they put like your senior quote. And that was mine, because I graduated in 2014, and at that time, like, Charles was such a large, important part in my life, the vlogs daily, and he was just such, and still is, such a large, I wear this, I got this, in my Easter basket in 2013, my mom got it for me, and I have worn this every single day. I also have this that I keep on my phone case. Yes, I still have an iPhone 5S, fight me. And this is actually my second one, because the first one like cracked in the corner, so this is my second case. I use this every day. I love it. So clearly, I love CTFxC. Keep your secrets to yourself and put me high up on a shelf. Look at me when